Hello and good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Today is the day that we have been waiting for. We are on the 18th day of January. We are almost three quarters through the month, and Xbox is the first platform to have a show, and it's going to be a big one.
There we
We
go.
are expecting big presentations from Avowed, from Aura, from Hellblade. But I think the hype train for me, folks, is Indiana Jones. Well, one,
Yes.
because I'm old, and you know what? I went to theaters to see the first Indiana Jones. So for me,
Yep.
yeah, I know you're
Yep.
laughing because
Yep.
you're probably close to me as well. It's a very exciting time because
Different
we
world.
don't know what we're getting. We know that Machine Games is working hand in hand. The game is being directed by Todd Howard, who is a ridiculously big fan of Indiana Jones. So presentation and story are all going to matter. But then, of course, I don't even know how to control my hype because Obsidian, who is the behind the scenes workhorse, who has so much going on, they're going to deliver in such a big way. They're going to show us Avowed, and I guarantee you, all our jaws are going to be dropping. And of course, well, you can't discount Ninja Theory with Hellblade. I mean, yeah, we've seen a lot of it, but I mean, we're going to get a release date, an official one. One's kind of floating out there of May
Yep.
21st. I talked about it last night on Primetime Gaming. Obviously, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is a great, great time for this game to drop. And I think that if it doesn't drop in May, as it's being suggested by several people in the business, then obviously that was done on purpose because Hellblade, if you played the first one, yes, it is an action adventure, but it's telling a story about someone that does suffer from mental illness. And if you are someone like me who played through the game once and people were like, boom, you got to put on the headphones, and then ran through it again with the headphones, it was a totally different experience. So I would imagine that they take this very serious, and it would be really a triumph for the team as well as bringing awareness to an issue that some people are embarrassed to talk about. To be honest with you, and I think that there is something to be said about the importance of that. But listen, before we get into all of the antics, we got some Game Pass news, folks. Now, granted, it's an analyst. An analyst. This isn't officially from Microsoft, but we're going to break down the numbers. And I think what's even more telling, C Money, is the fact that there are 40 plus titles already announced for this
Facts.
service that only costs you $16.99 a month.
It's a
And
massacre, bro.
it's
It's a massacre.
it's an absolute massacre. But you know what's even greater? Tomorrow is Palworld, and that game looks, every time I see it,
Yes.
I am like, yo, I may have to get down with
Absolutely.
some people to play this, like in multiplayer, because this game looks great single player, but it's got to be a blast multiplayer. But C Money, aka the Pony Smasher Part 2, because of course his missus is technically the queen, so she's Part 1. How you feeling, my brother? Welcome back.
Feeling good. Feeling good. Today is the day that we've been waiting for
Indeed, it
to
is.
finally have Xbox say this is what the start of a new gaming year should look like.
Indeed.
Not that crap that PlayStation put out, that 2024, hey, look at all these third-party games you're gonna get. No, no, no. These are our games, and we're so excited for them. And I'll just reiterate, it's our games, like Xbox players and
Well,
Xbox
didn't
fans games.
again, not to stoke the flames, because we enjoy doing that when we can.
Deal.
I'm pretty sure that Aaron Greenberg, who is the holds a pretty big position in Xbox, and we all know Greeny. He specifically said in the tweet, for Xbox Game Pass, Xbox and Xbox Game Pass PC. I didn't see
Right.
any other symbols there, which obviously should
Mm.
tell you that, well, these games are going to be played on an Xbox this year, and don't worry about anything else. Just enjoy the games.
You know, I think at this point, I think Aaron just enjoys the pony tears So that's why he doesn't go full in. He just kind of lets us hardcore folks know, like, you're good, don't worry about it. But then it just enjoys watching them. Oh, please let me have these games. God, how I hope that the Xbox games come to our crappy system, please. That's the world that they live in. I think Aaron just enjoys that now. I think he feels that. Yeah, I do.
Probably, as he should. As folks, as you can see, I am playing Prince of Persia. My God,
Is it good?
what,
I just downloaded it. I
dude?
haven't turned it on yet.
It is a Metrovania that is so freaking good. It's addicting. Ask Infinite Umbra. He can't stop playing it. I have almost the entire map unlocked. I am maybe 6 or 7 hours in. I'm taking my time. I know Randall Thor just put out that he got 1,000 out of 1,000 achievements in it. Man,
Oh,
that's not
wow.
some,
He
he's the
already
man with
finished
the
it.
million. Of course, he's gonna get 1,000 out of 1,000. But it is the best thing I can say, folks. This is a two-sided coin. One, I think if you wanted or you were looking for the AAA title that, to get you into their service, Ubisoft Plus, which of course is like
Yep.
it's $18 a month. I have it. I'm not going to front. I
I
pay
have it
for it.
too. It's
But
just
I
is what it is.
also got Assassin's Creed, the new one last year.
Yep. Pandora,
Obviously,
Avatar.
you got Avatar. There was their racer that was like Horizon, which is really good. Their racer is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, the crew. Yep.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Look, value isn't subjective, of course. This in itself is well worth it because the deluxe edition, which you get every deluxe edition, all you gotta do is go to it, click it says it's part of your service, you download, you're good. Full package. The highest tier gold package for all Ubisoft games you get. And I mind you, I'm not getting anything from them. They don't even know I exist. It's fine. But I think it's worth it. And I am telling you, this game is so freaking good. I don't even know what else to say. That's all I want to play. I have, I think, 4 hours of footage I recorded in the last like 2 days. Phenomenal. But listen,
Gotta get
let's
started
get
on it.
into why we're here. It's time to get excited, Xbox players. It is time to look forward in 2 hours and 51 minutes from now. We're going to be all sitting down. Some are going to be podcasting. Me, I am not doing anything. I am going to sit on my couch and I'm going to watch as a fanboy. That's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow morning's Breakfast with Boom, we will be covering everything in full detail. We go live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually, those are pretty big shows for the channel right after a major event. And I'm expecting no different. We're going to be covering everything. The panel's going to be packed. Everyone's going to have their
Yes.
big opinions. And hopefully, we'll all be cheering in the streets because we'll have release dates. Whether we get a shadow drop, which is a game that we don't know, or a quote unquote stealth drop. And of course, I know that thanks to Hargeet Chani, who made the definition clear. A stealth drop is a game that exists and they just drop it for you to play, right? The other type of drop is a game like Hi-Fi Rush that we did not know that was happening. So,
I mean,
stealth drop, shadow drop,
one way or the other. It's
yeah.
You didn't know, and now you know.
And now you know.
Either way, it's a
And
beautiful
you know
thing.
what people are also going to know tomorrow once this well, not even tomorrow, today at
we're gonna know in a
4
couple
p.m.
hours.
Eastern Standard Time. Once this show is done here on the East Coast, they're going to know that you cannot F with Xbox and Xbox Game Pass because these games are going to be dropping in their day and date. And I have a good feeling in my gizzard, so to speak, that every game that they show is gonna hit. And of course, thanks to Tim Dog, there is the rumored 5th game. What is the 5th game? I don't know, but we're gonna find out in a couple hours. But while we're here, let's talk about Xbox Game Pass because, like I said, I sent it over to you. Let me just find it because I had it here, and of course, I closed everything down like a boob. So here we okay. So I have the tweet now. This comes the way of who else? Idle Sloth, the android / human / detective.
Man is
right?
everywhere.
He is here, there, and everywhere. And well, he knows a thing or three. And he put this out here this morning. And I want to read it verbatim, and I want to give him credit. And again, I want to say this: if you're not following Idle Sloth, you're doing it wrong, folks. Especially if you are an Xbox fan, he finds all of the great information. And again, there's quite a few out there. Nico is a part of that conversation. There's also Hazardor Gaming. There's a few others that you should follow. That Jamie Moran is also someone you should follow. He's also someone that gets the info and throws it out there on the socials. But Idle Sloth, it's at Idle IDLE Sloth SLOTH 84_. Go follow this man, because you trust me when I tell you, he's definitely somebody you want to follow. This is what he had to say. Now, according to James McWhirter, Werther, I believe it is. He is an Odema senior games analyst, and he has estimated, mind you, this is just another analyst. This is not official. At the end of the month, we're going to know what their quarterly looks like. Has estimated that Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, which includes Core, Live Gold, and to be at 33.3 million subscribers by the end of 2023. Now, it represents subscriber growth, according to the analyst, at 13% in 2023 compared to 15% in 2022. Now, according to this analyst, more than half, 55%, are currently of the ultimate tier for Xbox Game Pass. I mean, it's growth, right? We're going to know more. Obviously, last year had a lot of games. Now, we did hear, and this was confirmed, folks, by Xbox themselves, that on the day that Starfield released, it was the biggest one-day subscription boost that they have ever had since the inception of the service back in the summer of 2017. That's a really big deal. And like I said, we know that their ideology moving forward is to grow this service. They want to be the Netflix of gaming. We've heard that 1,000 times. The way you do that is you continually load this with content as they continue to do. Again, a smaller game that I don't know about you folks. Who in the chat here is a fan of Vampire Survivors? It's like crack cocaine, folks. I can't stop playing it. Even when I have done so many things and I got almost all the achievements, I still want to play it. I love seeing the screen just explode with all of the colors and the damage that my weapons are doing. Well, there's a game coming out that is similar. It's called Brotato. It looks really dope. It's a potato with guns. What else do you
talking about?
Yes. What else do you need? I will take Brotato. Yes, thank you very much, please. And of course,
that's to show you what a real gamer running the show does, right? He literally goes on stage and says, right now I'm playing Brotato on Steam. It's not on Xbox. It's amazing. And then what do we get in Game Pass? Not too long after, fucking Brotato. Phil Spencer says, I like this game. I want this game. Bring it over.
Yeah.
See, that's the world that, man, I feel bad.
That's what happens when you have a Phil Spencer.
You have actually
running
gamers in charge.
Microsoft Gaming, right? And obviously, we're gonna start to see. And honestly, I say this. I don't know her personally. I hope to meet her in person one day. I maybe even an interview. Who knows? We can shoot for the stars. I'm talking about the president of Xbox Gaming, and of course, that is Sarah Bond. I have a strong suspicion that she's going to open the show as she should. She's the president of Xbox. I know that she
should do both.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Phil's going to be there. I mean, you may even get Matt Booty to have an appearance, but it's going to be games, and it's going to be all about the developers. There's going to be very little interaction with Microsoft brass, because this is not about them. This is about the developers and showing off their wares, and this is for the fans to get excited about the brand, which we already are. But my question to you, C Money, is it's actually a double-sided coin. One of which is thoughts that we're only at January 18th of 2024, 18 days into the new year. And we already know that there are 40 plus games coming to our service, not counting the special games like a Brotato that made their way in there because someone asked for it. Say, hey, listen, I'm playing this game. It's
Yep.
great. Oh, look, it's here. Right?
Facts.
Already 40 games, and we're hearing growth of 13%. Okay, it's down a little bit. Okay, but again, this is not the official analysis from an Xbox. This is someone that's good with the numbers, so we're gonna roll with it. I think 13% positive is a big deal, but I will say I can see that number easily doubling when you look at what's coming into Game Pass this year. Just take these 4 games, add Call of Duty and one other, and you have people running for this service. What are your thoughts on my theory?
I mean, honestly, it's a pretty easy kind of thought, right? Like, there's no way that this thing is not growing crazily with just the idea of what we're getting. People are going to be lining up for it. But you saw we had Starfield. Starfield was huge, no matter what the pony beggars are asking for or how they downplay it, right? We know that it did phenomenally. They said that it was the highest amount of Game Pass subscriber increase in one shot. Okay. There's no denying this. Okay. We are not in the old days of Xbox. I understand it's difficult. And then I think that's why a lot of these guys out here are so like afraid to be 10 toes down on Xbox, right? That's why they walk the line so much because they're afraid that it backfires, right? And then Xbox doesn't go on and somehow says, you know what? Throw away the 80 billion we spent. We're not even gonna do anything with it. It's garbage. No, 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 no. That's not a world that we live in. Okay. Xbox is not only here to stay, but they are literally changing the landscape of gaming going forward. And if you don't think so, I gotta tell you, name me a time where a first party developer was able to show you 4 big ass AAA games that are coming out this year. Name me a time when. Not AAA
Never.
from multiple studios. I'm talking about from first party.
Yep.
Bangers. Big banger. Come on, man. This is a whole different world that we live in, right? But again, you got the naysayers out there who's stressing, who hear Satya talking to business people and financial people and think that Satya is talking to the ponies doing a stealth reveal. Hey, ponies, listen, I want you to hear this. I'm Satya Nadella. Hey, we're bringing our games to you. That's the way it's going to get done, guys. It's not going to be on the Xbox Wire or Phil coming out. No, no, no. It's going to be a slip up by Satya live talking to financial people. No, no. I could appreciate your desire because you have nothing, right? I get it. I get it. But just because you have nothing doesn't mean you could fabricate these ideas in your head that somehow Xbox first party games are coming to your system outside of what we already know to be true. And that's what everybody wants to ignore. Of course, they're saying they're going to be a great publisher for Sony because they have the most played game in our stable. Call of Duty, the #1 game on PlayStation, is ours. Of course, we're going to be a great publisher for them. That was a dig. That was him looking at Sony saying, we own you. We own you. Because if we stop in 10 years bringing Call of Duty to you, you are irrelevant because nobody's going to want you. So let's be clear. We're in a different world now. I know it's hard for them. They don't understand. But that's the world we live in. And that is the absolute truth.
It is very true. And I don't think that you were on point. Pun intended, on point gaming. There you go. I mean, listen, it's, what I find almost hilarious. And I think that, and again, we're keeping it positive here, folks. We have a direct in under 3 hours. It is, and I really want to compound on the point that C Money made. When was the last time you saw something outside of E3 be this relevant and deliver games that are launching on the platform this year. Okay, maybe you're not getting a shadow drop. Maybe Indiana Jones, we don't play until September. Who cares? It's releasing this year.
Facts.
I mean, whether or not Hellblade the date is true, which I hope it is, because I think we've already looked into the future, and May is wide open, which is great because it gives this game plenty of room to breathe and shine as it's going to. I can't say for sure if the media is going to ever give the credit where credit is due, no matter what Xbox does, because they're so in the pockets of Sony. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because we continue to see it. Until they change my mind, that's how I'm going to look at the gaming media. Now, I'm not throwing everybody under the bus, but there's a good portion of them that will continue to cap for PlayStation, no matter what Xbox does. PlayStation could literally take a dump right on the floor and be like, that's game of the year right there. And that's what I don't like about the gaming media. Sorry, that's a fact, folks.
This is the thing, though. Let's not forget, though, and I know maybe a lot of people didn't look at it this way, okay? But I will say that even though the backhanded compliments were there, right? It was backhanded. Understand that IGN was still forced to recognize that Xbox was having a way better year than PlayStation is. Okay. So as much as they did their little backhanded compliment with finally and all that stuff, understand that Xbox is pulling them kicking and screaming into the new reality where Xbox is the place where people come to play games and people want to read about what Xbox has going on. IGN already sees it. And I could tell you right now, for them to go ahead and do that, that was them saying, holy shit, it's not just this one year. They know that next year is not looking great either. And they know that Xbox's year is going to be a whole different level.
Yep.
Unheard of level of gaming this year is going to be from Xbox. And they know that no matter what they do, they cannot change the fact that there will be no games to search for under Sony. There's no game to go looking for outside of third-party games that they are now first party to them, right? That's just what it is. Xbox is the place where all the search is going to be going down. People are going to go crazy looking for more Hellblade. People are going to go crazy looking for a Valve. People are going to go crazy looking for indie. This is what's going to happen, and this is just the first salvo. This is just what they feel is, you know what, let's just put this out here to start the year off. What are we going to see at E3? What is going to, and I always will call it E3, understand? So
me too,
what are we going to see there, right? Like, what are we going to see with ABK when they have their thing? Because be clear, they didn't say, hey, we're going to see ABK at the summer event. They said we'll see ABK later on, which to me means that they wanted to have these four games have their chance to shine. I would say February or March. With I would say between those 2 months, I could definitely see them do an ABK thing. It depends on when these other games are coming out. So, like, if they're releasing a game in February, then you'll probably do the ABK in March. If the first game is going to come out in March, then maybe February you go with the ABK deal. But I mean, dude, this is a whole different world that we're in.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like people are not even putting two to two together right now that on the last year of polish, a Call of Duty game is coming out this year under our belts.
And in Game Pass, day and date.
Day one.
Day one.
And when that goes and starts becoming marketed, when that is on buses, at stadiums, on commercials, Xbox, best place to play Call of Duty or play it here, on Game Pass, day one, the world is going to shift. Right now, we're in oh my God, it's such an amazing time to be an Xbox fan.
Indeed it is.
God, I don't know how we have so many people who are not just pumped out with their chest out wide saying, yes, Xbox is dominating. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, it's a very interesting thought. And I say that, C Money, because when you look at the value proposition, right? Now, Xbox Game Pass only advertises 100 games, but anyone that has it, that subscribe, knows that at any given time, there's 450, sometimes even as much as 500 games in there. We already
Yes.
know that this year, the 4 games that they're going to show. Now, granted, I do take that with, got to take console out of the way, because Aura is supposed to only release on Game Pass for PC. That's still a platform. It's still Xbox. It's just PC. All 4 of those games, as big and bombastic as they are going to be, are in Game Pass day and date. We know that without even looking any further outside of Call of Duty, that is dropping into Xbox Game Pass day and date. And you said something very interesting. As a matter of fact, I think Hargeet mentioned it last night. We are on the cusp, ladies and gentlemen, of Sony being the outliner here, looking from the outside in. Remember how dominant they were because everyone thought Call of Duty was first party? Well, let me just try and draw your attention to the Xbox 3 who had those marketing rights. I knew plenty of people who were like, whoa, I got to get an Xbox. Why? Call of Duty. Yep. Yeah, that's exclusive. People actually thought it was exclusive to the brand. That's how powerful Call of Duty is. When that shift happens this year, and C Money said it, when it's at a basketball game, a football game, a baseball game, on the trains, on billboards, on a bus, and everywhere you see Call of Duty go for, there's gonna be that big Xbox logo right next to it, Xbox Game Pass. And I am telling you, folks, because I have witnessed it when I was still working. There were plenty of people, the normies, right? The casuals that buy 2 games a year, are going to be around the water cooler or their co-workers, and someone's going to be like, yo, I just got Call of Duty for free. I'm like, what are you talking about? Free? What are you talking about? Yeah, this Game Pass, man, just $17 a month, and I just downloaded it, and there you go. And the difference, C Money, this time around, right, is we were in an era where subscription services are the norm. They are the conversational piece, because the people that are here, which, by the way, we are about to break a record. We're almost at 1,000 live freaking viewers. Wow. I mean, all I can say is that we're on the hunt for 15K, folks. So if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the banter, I do this 5 days a week, 5 different shows, all great content. You know what we don't sell you here? We don't sell hate mongering. We don't sell lies and deception. We have fun. We laugh. We give you news. We give you source material. We have some connections in the background. Sometimes we say some things, sometimes we don't. But please consider subscribing. But I do want to go back to the fact that in a couple of hours, we're going to get a chance to see 4 big games. Now, I have been clear. Aura it's just not my kind of game, right? And I'll, again, if it ever comes to Xbox console, I might download and give it a shot, because according to Pong Soul, it's going to be very different, a 4X type of game where there's multiple ways to win rather than it just be a subset. So maybe it's something that I'll find that's appealing. Like I said, I'm old, folks, and the last 2 RTS games that I can say that I really, really freaking loved, and you've heard me say this before. One is Aliens versus Predator on the OG Xbox. And I don't know if people even remember that, because you could use all 3 classes and it was dope AF. And the other one was the Lord of the Rings RTS, which is I was on the Xbox 360. That was really good because Mrs. Boom and I are huge Tolkien fans. But since then, I can't say that I've really, Halo Wars also. Halo Wars 1 and 2 is phenomenal. Hopefully we'll get a Halo Wars 3. But I haven't really been into RTSs. And Aura, I don't know. I'm interested, but I'm not hyped for that. What I am hyped for.
Not every game's for everybody, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I do want to. I should get a shirt. Not every game is for every gamer, and just kind of and put that out there. Listen, before we move on to the 4 titles that we're going to talk about here, Let me thank. We have a new channel member. LAD has become a channel member, brother. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much for joining the channel. We also have some super chats that I want to get to. Andre Doyle, generous friend of the program, drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says Diablo, Developer Direct, ESO all have shows, and we keep forgetting about ESO. Like honestly, I don't play it. I mean, I'm not really an MMO kind of guy, but I know you can play this single player. I have it downloaded. I know that after this, there's supposed to be some big reveals at the ESO event that's after this, and I supposedly they're going to be doing some graphical upgrades and a whole bunch of stuff for it. I may have to get down with
That'll be
that.
dope. That'll be dope.
Adidas 20 drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, "What's up, my dudes? Get your popcorn ready. Indeed, I can't wait. I can't wait to just sit back as a fan, be like a big old nerd, just sit back on my couch and just watch it as a fan."
We're gonna be doing it with the fan, bro.
Yeah, I know. I want
2:30
to, but
bro.
today is just again, it's right when I got to go get Mrs. Boom, so I'm going to be watching half on the big screen, half on my phone, but I'm not missing a minute. Sherman Williams drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Hey, Boom and chat, I cannot wait for 3 p.m. Let's go. Let's start this year with a boom. Indeed, I think they're going to. I think we're going to be very surprised." Oh, yeah. My very good friend, all the way from Colorado, Jimbo Jangos, who has an amazing dope ass car that that's actually been on the calendar, and I have that calendar, which is dope. He drops a very generous $20 super chat and say, "Boom and see money. Do you think Indiana Jones game is about the aliens in Miami?" Just kidding. I hope you and the crew are doing great, and I'm excited for today's direct. Call it a direction worst joke ever. Nah, brother, you're good here, man. All jokes are funny. Thanks so much for the generosity, Jimbo, and appreciate you being here. We have Gaming Nerd Austria has gifted folks 5 double barrel gaming memberships. Bro, that is crazy generous of you. Thank you so much for that. If you did get one, please, by all means, throw this man a thank you for that. We have another new member, Mitch Dio. Welcome to the program, brother, and thank you. I said Mitch. It's Mech Dio. Thank you so much, Mech. Super appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the generosity. Torino Johnson drops a very generous $5 super chat. It says, "Boom, you're a year older than me. Saw all of the indie films in the theaters as well as Star Wars. I'm excited for indie as well. Yeah, I saw all the Star Wars in the all the way back in 70s, 77. It's listen, I'm old. What can I tell you? But you know what? I could say I was there. I could say and I say this with respect for the industry. One of the things that I am so fascinated and I feel so privileged is that I got a chance as a kid from my dad to in 1978 walk in. Remember, my pops was a blue collar dude. Mom stayed home, pop did the work. That was the only money coming in. Back then, in the 70s, it was tough. And somehow or another, my father put the money together, surprised me and my brother with an Atari 2600 back in 78. And why I feel privileged as a gamer and why I don't take anything for granted is the fact that I got a chance to witness sticks and dots to what we are going to see today. And it is such a privilege to have been a part of that, because a lot of the kids, and you have kids as well, some of their first experiences may be an Xbox 360, maybe a PlayStation 3, may even be a PlayStation 4, right? Maybe even a Wii U. That may be their first experience, where that's why I take nothing for granted. So real quick, let me just get the last two. We have here Dean Rivera. Dean, welcome to the program, brother, and thank you very much for the very generous $5 super chat, and says, "All of the ponies that talk shit about Xbox will, of course, will be hate watching the show today. Also, I'm very sick of Reforge Gaming and MBG, Muscle Bound Gamer. Just
don't watch the shit.
Just put that. Just put them on the pain of mind list. Honestly, they are. when they see when they see the success of Xbox, unfortunately, and again, I don't know either of them personally. I'm only going based on how they present themselves, right? They're looking to make money, and they're trying to appease multiple fan bases, even though we know that they're PlayStation guys. And be a PlayStation guy. Just don't be a fraud. Just don't be a fraud to your audience, and that's what unfortunately they do. They are, at
Facts.
least in my opinion. Mech Dio drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, "In the words of DMX, Xbox is going to give it to you on today's showcase. Indeed, he
He
is."
was a prophet,
And
man. He knew it.
he was a prophet, indeed.
He knew it.
JJ Sayin 117 drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Watch Destin's react vids on why consoles are going extinct by going indie, and you will see why Sony's in trouble, like Kodak and Blockbuster." Yeah, I mean, look, the truth of the matter is that Sony, they said it in those leaked documents that unfortunately they got into the game late, right? They said that. I'm not making that up, folks. They actually said that they got into it late, and they might be on the outs. They will, because again, they can't afford the budgets. Sony is in a pickle. They want to be everywhere, and you know where they are right now? Nowhere. No, they're leaderless. They have no direction. They have no path forward, right? The best thing that they have put out there, and that's because the media keeps blowing smoke up their ass about The Last of Us 2 remake that's only
Oh my God.
3.5 years old. That's their big release for this year. That's
Bro,
first
and it got
party.
reviewed? It got reviewed
It got
as
reviewed,
a
and
new
tens,
game?
tens, tens. I saw
Come
some of
on,
the
man.
reviews saying, "Well, this is the greatest game in the world, got even greater." I mean, come on, folks. I saw. Did anyone raise your hand in the chat if you saw the side by side video? I saw them.
Yeah,
I
so
watched
watch
all
Digital
of them.
Foundry
They
stuff.
don't look
There's nothing there.
any different.
No, the guy couldn't even find it. He was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little like that's all you heard from him,
Yeah,
reaching
it's
everywhere he could to try to say, man, maybe there's a little here."
maybe,
But it's like, come
yeah.
on, man. All
It's
they
just
did was add a mode that he said, was fine, but he probably won't be going back to it. So maybe that's why factions got canceled, right? Because they added a multiplayer mode to this thing, and it's not quite that impressive, right? They
well. I
actually
mean,
said
again,
he'd rather do the fights in the game
yes,
because, like, just in the main
yes, I
storyline.
agree.
He said he'd rather just play it in the game and not do that separate mode. So not
I
looking great.
mean, isn't it? If you want to spend your
A
50
10,
bucks
10,
or
10.
your $10 to upgrade, go ahead. I'm not going to hate on you. I'm not doing that. I don't want to play guitar. I just don't. I really don't. Even for trophies, I find it to be
Guitar mode.
ridiculous. Let's talk about the 4 games. Obviously, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'll let you go first because you are my co-host here, and I'm interested to get. There are 4 games now.
Yeah.
Technically, we're hearing there might be a 5th. Right? There might be a 5th game there. Fine, great, awesome. But I really want to just focus on the 4 games that we know are going to be there because anything could be the 5th game if there is a 5th game.
Facts.
Now, I'm no mathematician, folks. We know for a fact, thanks to Tom Henderson and several others, that it's going to be 48 minutes in length. It's pre-recorded. It's up ready to rock and roll. It's been up since the last 2 days. It's 48 minutes in length. So again, if there are 4 games and each game has about 10 minutes of gameplay and introduction from the developers, that leaves 8 minutes. There's going to be an intro and outro, 30 seconds, give or take, right? You're going to get maybe some talking heads. Maybe you get Sarah Bond, which I hope is going to be there. She'll open the show. Maybe, we'll see Booty close it out or Phil close it out, whoever, right? But that's still only going to be about, a minute and a half each. There's still going to be 5 to 6 minutes left over. If they're going to show a 5th game, I think there's room for it. Which of the 4, though, for you, C Money, is tip of the spear?
I mean,
it's hard to pick. I get it.
They're all like really dope, right? But I think the one that most people are going to look at as the most kind of excited thing to see at this show is Indy because we haven't seen it, right? So I mean, for me, Indiana Jones is the one I want to see. I want to see what they're doing. I want to see what their take on the, Uncharted
Yep.
type, Tomb Raider type game is gonna be. I guess the biggest question is we don't know third person, first person. Todd kind of alluded to the fact that it's gonna be a bunch of things happening,
Mhm.
like, different gameplay segments. So, like, we don't really know what they're gonna do. And I'm really interested to see, aesthetically where they're gonna come in at. You know, Machine Games, they're graphically top notch, right? Like every game they put out looks amazing. It's gonna be at the same event as Hellblade. So I mean, obviously I don't think it's gonna look like Hellblade, but I am curious to see what art direction they're going. Are they going realistic? Are they going, more, artistic, more cartoonish? I don't really know. I'm excited to see. But I think that that's the one that I'm most excited for because I want to really see what they are doing and how it's gonna look when we play and what we're gonna be doing while we play. The other one is gonna be, again, I'm kind of all in on Hellblade, and I'm basically all in on all of them, but Avowed's the only one that I wanna see what it looks like now. I
Gotcha.
wanna see if
Yeah.
they
Fair.
made any upgrades to the graphics. The game itself is gonna be a banger, right? Because I love, Obsidian is the GOAT, right? But did they take the feedback? Did they go and say, okay, yeah, people weren't really happy with this? And, aesthetically, as an Xbox first party title, um, I think they do need to deliver at a high quality bar. And I'm not talking realistic. I'm not saying it has to look like, Hellblade. It could have an art style, but I need the lighting effects to be way better. I need the texture work to be higher quality. Like it's not changing the art style, it's making the most of the art style is what I wanna see happen. So, that one I'm curious to see
You're
if
talking
they
about like
did
more
take any steps.
cleaner edges, right?
Yeah,
Like
make every
more
just the lighting was flat a little bit in a lot of the
okay.
scenes, like, I just wanna see more atmosphere, I wanna see more things happening in the world. um, Again, this is gonna be our big Obsidian game, right? Let's just be clear, we're not gonna get another Obsidian big game for years, right? Whatever they're gonna work on next is you're talking maybe 3 to 5 years from now, depending on their scope and how big they wanna go. So this is the one that they're doing, and I want it to be, top notch. You look at the other Obsidian games, Pentiment. I think graphically it's stunning. Obviously, not a realistic looking game, but in that art style, phenomenal, right? It looks like what they set out to do. It looks like a painting come to life, from that time era. It's phenomenal. Grounded, same thing. Again, cartoonish, but you play that game PC maxed out. I feel like I'm watching a Pixar movie. Okay,
Yep.
it's high caliber quality.
Right.
So I think that it's fair for me to expect or hope that Obsidian is going to put the final polishing on the graphics, which we know obviously always happens at the end anyway. Um, you know what? I just saw understanding in the chat. Outer Worlds 2.
Yep.
Yes. But that's yeah, you're right. That's the other team is making Outer Worlds. Okay, so we'll be getting that hopefully. Man, I gotta tell you, I forgot about Outer Worlds too, huh?
I think
That's
that's
how
this
many
year,
games
maybe.
we have.
Maybe that's
We
this
have
year.
Outer Worlds too?
Yeah, man, you don't know. I mean,
That
well,
would
I mean, they
it
made jokes
ooh,
about, hey, this is we're going to show you a non-release date, and it was funny, but I would imagine that they're going to be using some assets, so they're not building the game from the ground up. They're going to use some from the other game, just make it better and prettier. I mean, who's to say that? I mean, that's the thing about Obsidian. A lot of people don't know this. They have more. I think they have like 4 teams, dude.
Jesus. It's a lot. It's a lot.
We don't know.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
listen,
we
if
don't know what they're doing.
when they did that announcement trailer for it, that cheeky trailer, which was phenomenal, probably the best
It was
trailer
funny. Yeah.
ever.
Hmm.
Um they made it as if they had nothing, like they literally started from scratch, which leads me to believe that that's probably, going to be their next gen focus game, right? So like that's the game that they're going to turn on every single bell and whistle. Where I feel like no matter what they do to Avowed at this point, it's gonna look like a high end, you know, crossover game. You know, like a game that they started on a lesser system that they, you know, made look better. But you know, the gameplay wise, we know that Obsidian kills it, man. The story is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to play that game. And then Hellblade is just, it's just Hellblade. I mean, that is my everything graphically. I can't even
Yeah, well,
imagine.
I think it's safe to say, you know, with that comment, C Money, is that is the cognito of the Iron Lords podcast. My brother,
Facts.
the hashtag
Hashtag
just
just one.
one, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what I think that's what a lot of us have been asking for a graphical type of experience where you know you see it and you are in awe, and it does have
You're
that
right.
movie-esque quality similar to what Sony has with their games. Now, granted, I do say this as a precursor. I get a lot of people in this chat that you're not fans of that, you know, sad dad game, right? Or the for me, it's the over-the-shoulder, story-driven, adult-themed kind of content. I dig that, which is why I have a PlayStation 5.
Facts. Yep.
Now, granted, the levels are going to vary whether or not you thought that Ragnarok was better than 2018 or vice versa, or you thought that Horizon Forbidden West was worse than the first one. I don't care how you see it. What I'm referring to very simply is they have a very unique look to their games. Now, some people say it's overused, and I'm not gonna disagree with you. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. For me, it's why I own a PlayStation. So
Same.
what I love
Same.
about Xbox and what I specifically love about Xbox Game Pass is that it's not just one looking game. Their first party stuff.
Variety.
I mean, again, just look at the 4 games that they're showing.
All different.
Every one of them is different. You have a first person RPG that is going to have bright colors and it's going to be, you know, pleasing to your eyes. That is in the Pillars universe in Avowed. Hellblade is going to be dark, gritty, violent, visceral, right? And that's your Hellblade 2, movie like even. You can even dare say. And of course,
Yep.
Aura looks, listen, it's not my type of game, but
It's
this game
stunning.
still looks dope, right? It's an
Yeah, it's stunning.
RTS.
It's the type of game that makes you wish that you like to play that type of game, right?
Right.
Because it looks like
And
it's the dream game for those people, right? Because it's
indeed.
freaking stunning.
And the outlier for me, potentially game of the show is Indiana Jones, because
Facts.
this could be another quote unquote visual banger. I would imagine. I mean, listen, just look at what Machine Games has done in the past. I get it. They're known for Nazi slaying, first person shooting action. I get all of that. But the same way that the team that brought you Horizon, Forbidden West, and Zero Dawn, who was only known for Killzone, came and
Yep.
surprised you. I'm expecting that kind of tenacity today. I expect to see something that is going to wow us. It is, and here's the other thing. Here's an inkling. Why do I think that this game is special? See money.
Yep.
If it, uh, okay, let me just say this. Why I think this game is visually stunning is because of who's directing it. But why I feel this game is special, not knowing anything, not seeing anything. I'm like you, I'm in the dark. I haven't seen or heard anything.
Yep.
There is a specific reason why Xbox or Microsoft specifically went to Disney and said, listen, we're going to X the PlayStation version. We want it on our platform. It's got to
Facts.
be special. There's no way that they pay the kind of fees that probably they had to pay to get this licensed IP on their platform as exclusive. Of course, it's coming to PC, yes, but they had to pay a pretty penny for that. That tells me
Absolutely.
that it is going to be stunning. It is going to be everything any Indiana Jones fan could want. And again, I could be 1,000% wrong here. What are your thoughts on it? Am I making any sense here, C Money?
I agree. I agree 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like for that game to be here now, it has to be special because again, you're gonna be debuting it in a show where you have Hellblade, right?
Yes.
Which is the most stunning thing that has ever existed in gaming, right? So in that situation, you're saying to yourself, this game can hold up, right? That it's going to
Yes.
be a stunner. And I mean, I just can't see it any other way. Machine games, they're crazy. Yo, if you go back and play Wolfenstein 1, 2, stunning,
They still hold up, dude.
amazingly.
They still
Yeah,
hold
they
up.
hold up. And it's not just remember the thing with machine games, they're very similar to id, right? ID Software in the sense that not only do they make the game beautiful, but it's performant, right?
Yeah.
So they know how to give you stunning graphics at 60 frames per second, right? So it's not only going to be a game that looks good, but potentially it could be a game that's going to play just as smooth as the other games that they've made. And they're going to have something to prove because even though we know that Youngblood game that came out was Bethesda kind of forcing their hands to go do this thing, and they might have had help from another company make it. But that's the last thing that a lot of people have in their mind from them. So they're going to need to come out here and really show everybody again why they're special. We know it, right? But for the naysayers, they're going to want to prove it, right? And I just think they are, man. And it depends on when we get this game. Obviously, we know that we have November with Call of Duty, right? So the question is Xbox going to get in the habit of going up against Call of Duty? I don't know. It's easy to say that the games are different. But that being said, I think we all know that when Forza Horizon 5 came out, it had so many players, so many things going for it. And then, Halo came out like the week later or with the beta, the multiplayer beta, and the narrative shifted a little bit, right? Like we all started focusing on Halo. So, even though the games can be different completely, you still take away some of the smoke, right? So if you have Call of Duty this year is going to be such a big deal because it's going to be the first game under, you know, Xbox's actual direction. No, and I don't mean direction, but like for that last year, it was made under the belt of Xbox, under Microsoft, right? The other game came out and it was already almost done, right? Like, you're talking a month later after it closed, we got the game. Obviously, Xbox didn't do anything, right? But now they had a full year to make this game. It's going to be a big deal. I don't think they're going to want to put anything next to it. And then we know that Stalker is scheduled for September. And that
Yes.
is that is number one, a huge game for us Xbox, fans and players because we've been waiting for it for a long time. And, sentimentally, it means something to a lot of us because we know what they went through
Yep.
to make that game. So I cannot see Xbox be like, hey, cool, Stalker 2, we're releasing Indiana Jones the week after in September, right? Like I just don't see that happening.
No,
Right. So
they're probably going to give it as much space as it needs for a lot of
exactly.
reasons. Yeah, I
Exactly.
absolutely agree.
So, I mean, depending on when they release this, we're gonna be eating so good. I mean, it's
Dude.
crazy because we see how much that they could do in a short amount of time. Like, I don't I we did a video a couple days ago, kinda leading up to this, and we went over, like, the different trailers that got us to where we are now, and Hellblade has so many, and when you look at just when they first started, what happened a year later, 6 months later, like, a month later, like, you could see the progression of how much they could do in a short amount of time. So, I'm really looking forward to, what they show us and when they're gonna give us indie. I yeah, I personally think that these are first half games. That's my thought. I think we're gonna get them by the summertime, we should have these, or maybe indie goes to October or something like that. But I feel like these are gonna be first half because
I
they have
it's
other games, man. They have so many other games still
right.
to talk about.
Yeah,
South of Midnight.
and that's crazy because again, we don't know where these four games fall, right? Because what the suggestion is that it's the first 6 months of the year,
Yeah,
right? That we don't know that. We're going to know that in a couple of hours. Remember,
facts.
there's still the summer showcase. There's still the ABK showcase. There's still BlizzCon. There's still a ton of other shows That I know Call of Duty has their own event every year as well. So we don't. I mean,
Yep,
there's a lot going on for Xbox.
a
Listen,
ton.
before I get to the super chats, folks, something big happened at the end of last year. That again, we're still a small channel. We're not. We just crossed 14,000, and for some others, that's a lot. And yes, it is. We don't take one sub for granted, but we're still a small entity. And Valari Gaming Pillow Company had reached out to us and said,
Man, I
"Hey, listen,
forgot.
do you want to have a collaboration?" And I was like, "Sure." I actually a little surprised. So, I don't like reading from cue cards for someone's product because I feel it's kind of generic. So what I did is I teamed up, or I say Mrs. Boom and I teamed up with Sean Labrie, who is an incredible artist, and we had him make a commercial for us for the Valari gaming pillow. I want to run that commercial for you right now. He just updated the beat that you're going to be hearing in the background. We got the license for that, so no shenanigans with YouTube doing revenue sharing as they like to do. And obviously, if you are someone like myself, I had massive back surgery, which is what cut my career not short because I did 21 years as a police officer, but I would have stayed 25. I would have stayed the additional 4 years because I actually really loved helping people. But unfortunately, I had massive back surgery and that kind of cut my career short. So, playing games for a long time is sometimes, a little bit difficult on my back. This gaming pillow, folks, I use it. And the one I use is the one that was gifted to me by King David himself of the Iron Lords. I have an Iron Lord pillow. It's dope. And that's the one that I use. And it keeps my posture up and it keeps pressure off of my lower back. So let me run that commercial for you. And then we'll give you the code so that if you want to buy it for yourself, you can get 15% off of your order by typing in DBG15 at checkout. But check this out, folks. And there you go, folks. You can type the code in DB like in boy, G like in George, 15 at checkout, and you get 15% off your entire order. I know some people have bought the pillow, reached out to me personally, and was like, "What? This does actually work. It's dope. It does work. It keeps your posture, you're straight. Your shoulders are sticking out, and it takes the pressure off of your back." So listen, again, we're working with them. We're still a small entity. They're kind of a mom and pop kind of company as well, which is why we really wanted to team up with them because we can both grow together. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to that. I do want to move on to one more topic. This is an added one because Palworld just put out a new video regarding, and it's only like a minute and change, but it showed some updated gameplay. So I want to do a quick screen share and I want to talk about that because that's dropping, folks, tomorrow into Xbox Game Pass. And every freaking time, see money that I see this game, I'm like, I cannot wait to play it. It is Pokemon with freaking guns. Let me do a quick screen share. And you guys and gals can check out what I'm seeing because I think it's dope. I really, really do. Let me just pause the footage. Let me just do a full screen for you fine folks, and you can see what I am seeing.
That's wild.
Look at this.
He
jumps on his back.
We were trying to have the sound on.
That's so dope.
It really is. This is like Pokemon for grown-ups.
Yes.
Which is fire because my daughter just got into Pokemon. So I can have her look at the cards and then have her come play this. Swap her out. Just do a little swap. She won't even know. Have her playing it the right way.
We'll watch it one more time, folks, and we're gonna break down and give you our hot takes on this. I can't believe they got this done. Mind you, this is an exclusive. PS, by the way.
Yes.
There you go, January
Not a
19th.
first party exclusive, okay? Unlike we're not like the ponies here who think that if a game's exclusive, then it's first party magically.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very excited. Palworld is a game that is a console and PC exclusive for Xbox. I think that it's probably going to stay there because they had a game prior. I don't know. I don't remember. Somebody had put it in the chat that was it's like a what the name of the game was. It never released on PlayStation. It was only on Xbox. Their prior game, Craftopia. That's what it was. And that stayed as an exclusive for Xbox and of course on PC. I would imagine that this is going to also stay exclusive to Xbox and PC. And the game looks really good. You can, and you know what's crazy? There's somebody in the chat said, maybe we don't get a fifth game, maybe we don't get a shadow drop. Perfectly fine. Like I mean, like I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm here for the games that we're going to see. If they add anything extra, then it's a complete bonus, right? Obviously, it's going to be a bonus, but I am so excited for Palworld. That drops tomorrow. It looks really fun. Single player. There's a single player campaign, but you can play multiplayer. It's up to 4 players, and I think there's up to 32 people on each server. Now, I don't know what that means. Are you fighting other people, with your crew? I'm not sure. We'll learn tomorrow what that game's about. But I know you can play either in 4-player co-op, or you can just, obviously do the single player thing, which is probably what I'm going to do. Did that trail do anything for you, See Money?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've kind of had my eye on it since it first got revealed. Um, and it always blew my mind how Nintendo didn't find a way to like sue them,
Put the
like take
kibosh
them
on it?
down and something. Yeah, like I don't know how they're literally like some of their art is just their Pokemon with guns. But yeah, no, since I saw it, I thought it was exciting. Now I mean, had it not come into Game Pass, I probably wouldn't have gotten it just because I'm playing so many. I would probably have waited, because I have other games. I'm still playing through Alan Wake and Avatar and things like that. But
Dude, so many
um,
games.
yeah, there's just so many games that I've stopped rushing, and like, oh, let me go buy this game just to have it sit there. Um, so the fact that it came though to that it's coming to Game Pass is beautiful. And especially since I think that the kids, my kids will really like it too. So I think it's gonna be something that we all kind of play. And there's like you said, there's a multiplayer
Yeah,
part.
4-player co-op, man.
Yeah, see, for us, I have 3 Game Pass subscriptions, so we'll just we'll get in there and we'll just we'll co-op that. It's gonna be good, man. It looks great, and it's a W for Xbox fans, for Xbox gamers, and it's also a reminder. And this is what I love about what Xbox is doing. Understand that they didn't say, "Yo, we got a bunch of first party games now, so we're not going to spend any money on bringing third party day and dates."
Yep.
No,
Great point.
no. This is what happens when you're not dealing with a broke ass company, right? They say, "We're going to spend the money on our first party games, okay, but we're also going to continue giving our subscribers of Game Pass these amazing experiences day and date from third party." It's a beautiful thing. And honestly, a company like this, if this game does really well, I mean, this is the type of game that if it does really well, I could see Xbox just kind of like scooping them up, bringing
It's
them in the fold.
interesting. I don't know the origin of the company. I mean, are they out of Japan? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. But you're onto something here because they do make Craftopia a very different type of game versus this. And if this
Yes.
does hit, they seem to be the exact kind of studio that they would either A, partner with, or B, actually acquire, and for good reason, right? This game has the potential because that's the thing that's great about it. I mean, the game, listen, we don't know. The game could be freaking awful. It doesn't look like it's going to be awful, But
I mean, IGN gave it an 8, supposedly, somebody in the chat said,
oh,
which
okay. Well, there you go.
doesn't mean
No,
too
no.
much, but if the haters can give a Xbox exclusive an 8, then it's probably a 9. So, it probably is really good. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're gonna know tomorrow. It's not technically a shadow drop, but did surprise a lot of people last week that it did find its way to Game Pass day and date. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And I think to C Money's
Facts.
point, even with all of the first party stuff that's on the way, they're still loading Xbox Game Pass with other types of content, which is amazing. And listen, folks, we are at the 70-minute mark, which is normally what this show runs. We want to close out. I want to catch up on the super chats, but of course, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that we had over 1,000 people. We broke a record today, C Money, over 1,000 people here. Hopefully, some of those
Awesome.
that joined today and enjoyed the banter consider subscribing to the channel. And you know what? Today's a day to rejoice, Xbox gamers.
Absolutely.
Be celebrating in just under 2 hours. And we're going to be talking about it again. Obviously, C Money's covering it on his channel. He'll give you all that information momentarily.
Yes.
Of course, on Breakfast at Boom tomorrow morning, we will be covering it. Hargeet Chani is going to be popping in there while he's working to kind of give his hot take and celebrate the day with us. But Torino Johnson, who's been a channel member for 4 months, says this. Yes, Boom, the sticks and dots era was still mesmerizing to me on the 2600 and 5200. LOL. I love gaming. You're right. We were there. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Dwayne Colavito. Well, Dwayne, welcome to the program, brother. He drops a very generous $10 super chat. Says, hey guys, thank you so much for what you'll do, what y'all do. I just subscribed to your channel. I can't wait to see the Xbox showcase and see how much they are going to hurt Sony anymore. What time is showcase? Well, if you are in the East Coast, it is 3 p.m. If you are in the West Coast, it's at 12 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know what it would be. Let's see if it was 5 hours. Okay, so I think it's a 5-hour difference in the UK. So if it's 3 for us, I think it would be 8 p.m. their time. But Dwayne, thank you so much for not only the super chat, but joining for subbing the channel. We super appreciate that very much. Corky McCork drops a very generous £5 super chat and says, what's the chances of Call of Duty's ODST being at this direct? I want this to happen. I don't think that would happen, but remember, they said we do have a Call of Duty event happening. I would love an ODST type of Call of Duty. That would be dope.
That would be fire, actually.
We have a couple more. Gaming Nerd Austria, who's been a channel member for 10 months, says, 4 big games. Don't be sad if there won't be a 5th one. It will still be a great show. Just enjoy it and enjoy Xbox at all time to celebrate. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Listen, if there's a 5th one, like Tim Dog said, there is going to be. It's going to be a surprise because none of us know what it is. I haven't not heard a thing. So it's going to be a surprise to me. But even if there's not, you're absolutely correct. There are 4 big games there. There's nothing to get sad about for sure. Salt the Fries 86 drops a very generous $2 super chat. Love the name, brother. Salt the Fries indeed. He says C Money equals GOAT. Love his honesty, passion, and deep insight. That's very kind of you to say. And you know what?
Appreciate you.
All freaking true, C Money.
Thank you, man.
And Sir X-Men, good friend, generous friend of the program, drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says Palworld is gonna be like an adult Smash Brothers, and if the kids latch onto this game and teenagers, it will be a major success. Yeah, I think it has the appeal for kids because of the way that they're the graphics and how they look like Pokemon, right? But it also, I think, brings in the adults because of the potential violent nature of them shooting each other, which I think is dope. C Money, let's sell your brand because obviously you're going to be doing a show at well, you know what? I don't even know. So let's the 2:30, folks. He's going to be there at 2:30, 30 minutes before the show starts. You should definitely check out him and Doodle, and obviously they have a great channel. It is. Hey, what happened? That's weird. I lost my screen for a second. Oh, there it is. It's back. All right. So, see, money, sell your brand, brother. Tell everyone about your YouTube channel, and more importantly, where could people subscribe? Because you got some lofty goals in 2024, as you should. Because, like many others before you, you and Doodle have exploded on the scene. You're hunting for the next big goal for your channel. You've done a lot of great things, and we want to talk about it. Where can people subscribe? And more importantly, reach out to you on social media.
Boom, thank you again, my brother. I appreciate you. You know, I love doing the show, so thank you for having me here. On Twitter or X, damn, I feel like they're gonna force me to start saying X, and it's annoying me. But on Twitter, C Money Forever is right by my name, right there. Um, Come follow me there. It's a good time, man. If you're a Xbox head, like a super Xbox dude, like that's what we are. So you'll find some fun stuff over on Twitter with us for sure. Doodle to be free is my wife.
Mhm.
And she's also on Twitter with the slander. It's a good time. It's a good time. Our channel is on point for gamers, and yes, today is the day that we have been waiting for. The dev direct is here. We are going to be streaming it. Doodle and myself will be live streaming it. We're gonna start at 2:30 Eastern time, so we can have like a pre-show. You know, we'll talk about any rumors that are going on, or what we think is going to happen, and it's going to be very chat oriented. What you guys
Yeah.
think are happening. Let's all discuss it and talk about it, and then we'll watch our show. We'll watch the show, and then we'll go. Normally, our show is on Wednesdays. Our podcast, the On Point, the gaming podcast, but we actually moved it to today, so we can just go from the direct straight into our podcast. So it's just going to be you're there, and we're going to go right into our gaming podcast. So definitely come check it out. I did put the links to our channel into the chat. I'll put a couple more.
Excellent.
We just crossed 12K subscribers, so thank you
Yes.
guys so very
Awesome,
much.
dude.
Yes,
Congratulations.
yes, it's really dope because we were trying on I remember on New Year's Eve, we were hoping to get to 11.6. So, it's been, 2 weeks and we crossed 12, so we're happy. So, our big
Awesome.
goal, it's a lofty goal, but our big goal is to see, is it possible? Can we get to 13K
Oh, yeah.
by the
Absolutely, you
summer?
can. Yeah,
I
I
don't
think you
know.
can.
That's the goal. So we definitely will appreciate you coming by. I mean, like I said, we're an Xbox focused channel. So if you're pony sensitive, you know, I wouldn't say come, I wouldn't say don't come, because we have a lot of them who do come and they sit and they watch and then they leave nasty comments. But it's definitely it's a fun time, man. We have 4 shows a week. This was our gaming podcast. Tomorrow is our new show that we do, which is called The Night Shift, Let's Talk Gaming, where it's our guest show. So we actually have 2 guests coming tomorrow. It's gonna be Ham Solo,
Nice.
which super cool dude. And we're also gonna have R&B from Weebly Green, Dirt's channel. Super cool dude. So
Yes.
it's gonna be a great show. So definitely come, be there for that. Sunday, we're back with just Doodle and myself. We do a show called Morning Quest with Doodle and C Money. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We talk, whatever's going on, whatever news, whatever slander, whatever's popping, we go through. And it's a super heavy chat, focus show. So definitely come and see that. And then the other show that we do is on Tuesdays. It's called Her, Him, and a Guest, and it's our live interview show that we do, where we have
You
great
just
guests
had
come
Kay
by.
Asante on, kind
I
sir.
did just had Kay
Yes.
Asante on Tuesday. That was a dope ass show. If you don't know, Mr. Boom was our first official
Yes.
guest on the show. We're now like 20 something people deep now, so it's been a fun time. This upcoming week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have the Black Viking coming through on Tuesday. It's going to be an earlier show. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern time, because he has a show after that. So It's gonna be a good time, man. Yeah, listen, we appreciate everyone who stops by, anyone who comes and watches and hangs with us. So definitely come through, man. We appreciate everybody. And Boom, thank you again, my brother. We appreciate you very much. So
Yeah, well, I definitely appreciate you working with you each and every week on Thursday. Obviously, folks, real quick, the game that you see in front of you is Asteroids Recharged. Atari made a bunch of recharged games. There's like 6 of them. There's Missile Command, there's Breakout, there's Yar's Revenge, and they're all dope. And especially if you're an achievement horror master like myself, who loves getting Chivos, this is very generous. They were like $5 each. I think they were half price during the end of the year sale. And it's you can see like there's like power-ups and stuff. You never had that in the original, which is pretty dope. But listen, folks, a big thank you to everyone that tuned in today. We broke 1,000. We broke a record for this particular program. And I cannot thank you enough. We got a bunch of new subs, which is amazing. Please, again, while you're here, hit the like button. Obviously sub the channel if you're interested in hearing me and talk about gaming 5 days a week. And more importantly, if you're feeling extra generous, share this out on the socials. Let people know about C Money and myself on XVlog. Obviously, this is an Xbox centric show, but of course, I want to say a big thank you to all of the super chats. Those allow for Mrs. Boom and I to do the big giveaways. And obviously, you kind of know what we're doing already. Thanks to the Stalker team giving us a definitive date for September. Mrs. Boom and I are going to be able to stick away the super chats as we do, because we're giving away 15 copies of Stalker 2 when that releases. And again, it's our small way of helping a studio that's kind of been through the ringer. And we're buying those at full price. Just do the math. And that's one of our big giveaways. We have also designated a minimum of $1,500 to be given away at our 7th annual Christmas with Mr. and Mrs. BoomStick. And of course, we have our annual birthday bashes, which those shows we give away $500 per show. And we can't do any of that without the super chats, without the channel memberships, because what we do is after YouTube gets their 30%, we kind of tuck that money away and we give back to the community. It's something that we really are passionate about doing. So a big thank you to all of the generosity that continues to come in. And of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me, folks. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of XVlog Live.